On this week's gaming news discussion, we talk about a relic from the past rearing its ugly head, cultural appropriation being removed from Smash Bros. Ultimate, and gamers get salty over a mobile game. Hello and welcome to StrangePlay. I'm Rik.
I'm Simon.
And this is the news discussion for Sunday, the 11th of November. So for those of you that are new here, what we do on this show is each and every Sunday we go over 3 or 4 of the biggest gaming news stories of the past 7 days, give you the facts, and then share our opinions.
And for those of you that have come back, welcome back. It's nice to have you.
It is. Celebrating the first of year 2 of the weekly.
Yeah. Back on his own respective cities.
Yeah, so I'd like to think that the person that disliked the last video was like, oh, 2 of them in the same room. Fuck that. I like it when it's awkward and they're hundreds of miles away. So this one's for you, you miserable.
I can't believe someone actually disliked it. Actively disliked it. Wow.
Yeah, off to a good start anyway. So Simon, you're an old fella. Well, you're about 3 years older than me. So you must remember the 90s.
I do. Vividly.
Do you remember that hit show Games Master?
I do. Vividly.
And do you remember the incredibly cool dude who used to rock a headband and refer to himself as the games animal, Dave Perry?
The bandana. Yeah, I do remember him. Vividly.
And finally, Simon, do you remember that he was shit at Super Mario 64, stropped off and left the games industry?
Vividly.
Well, I've got some news for you, Simon. He's back with his own YouTube channel, Games Animal TV, and he released his first video, and it's special, isn't it?
It is. It really is. It is special.
Wow.
Go on. Start digging.
Right, so I don't want to shit on the dude because he was a part of it for a long time, but we're in 2018 now, and this feels like the ultimate relic of the 90s, but everything that was bad about the 90s.
He is very much a relic. The thing that I thought upon watching that is, do you remember watching comics on TV when you were a kid?
Yeah.
When I'm talking comics, I'm talking Jim Davidson, Bernard Manning, and all the old school ones. And it's like, you get the new wave coming in. The Ben Eltons and Alexis Hales and Rick Mayall and all those
ones.
guys. Yeah, the ones that just totally wash the old school away.
Yeah.
Well, he's been washed away. Like, he just feels so out of place. He looks uncomfortable. He sounds terrible.
Yeah. That was the big thing for me. The whole thing was just cringy. Like, we don't make the best videos in the world, but I am quite proud of a lot of the stuff that we put out. But he was sat there. You could tell he was uncomfortable. He kept doing that awful lip smacking noise that just sounds awful on a recording. Like, it sounds awful when you're talking to people anyway, but on a recording it sounds severely bad. The fact that it's in 480 as well, it just looks bad. And then there was the gratuitous boob shot for no reason whatsoever. I quite like the concept of him bringing out his box of goodies. I actually want to see that episode. I want to see him go through the box and I want to see what he's going to do. I want to see him play Mario 64 again. Like, these are 2 things that I actually would watch. To me, it just felt unnecessary that he had to come out and go, which one do you want to see? It's like, well, do them both. You've got 2 episodes worth of content there that you could just do something with.
Yeah, you've covered something that I was going to say anyway. If you're going to have a career on YouTube, you're going to struggle every week or every month or whatever you're going to run for. Just do everything. That makes the biggest sense to me. Get the box of tricks out, play Super Mario, and do the things that you are engaging with your audience that you think's going to get views and get you noticed.
So yeah, that's the bulk of the video. It was quite amateurish, especially from someone who used to do this for a living. It just kind of felt really bad. But that's forgivable until the last 2 minutes of the fucking video. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Fucking hell. What the fuck?
So he ends the video with a shit-eating smirk, basically, and goes, here's something I made earlier. And it's just a bunch of women in bikinis jiggling their boobage up and down. In fact, the fucking lyrics of the song is bikini babes on beat 'em ups, up and down, up and down. I remember that because I've had the song in my head on repeat since I saw the fucking video.
I didn't really pay that much attention to it. It sort of washed over me. We're like, oh, fucking whatever. You're not going to get far with that bullshit. People will pull you up on it. And they have. I don't think I've spoken to anyone that's gone, do you know that bit with the bikini babes at the end? Yeah, fucking loved it. The more focused on the actual, I want to see what's in his box of tat, or I want to see him play Super Mario. Or he still hasn't got over that Super Mario accident that happened on Games Master back in the 90s.
22 years ago. And he's still salty about it.
Yeah, I think on some level he's just, I hope he's playing it up. I really, really do hope he's playing it up after all these years. Do you know, like, it's become like one of these memes, like an in-joke sort of thing. Like, I hope he's just doing that. It's not actually got that far under his skin that he's like... I mean, this is another thing. Like, we talked about the 90s, and he's apparently... He had kids, and he was like, okay, I'm leaving games for a while until my kids grow up, and then I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Which he's done.
I'll give him that. That's a cool decision on his part, and I actually take my hat off to him for making that decision.
Yeah, but the thing is, he should have grown up within those years. Not just his kids, he should have grown up as well.
Exactly.
And he's come back, and he's just this fucking man-child that's like, boobs, and all this fucking shit. And it's like, no, Dave, just what you doing? You can't do that. Things have moved on so far. Gaming's cleaned itself up considerably since the 90s, and to do what you're doing it's not fucking edgy or funny, or you're not trying to reclaim anything. You're just making yourself look a massive cunt.
Now, did you read the interview that Eurogamer did with him?
I did, yeah.
So for those of you that didn't, Eurogamer deputy editor Wesley Yin Paul contacted Dave Perry on Facebook to have a chat with him, and the gist of it comes down to, are you being serious? Is this a joke? And Dave Perry going, no, I'm completely serious. I'm bringing the 90s back. And he keeps going on about 90s sensibilities and how we've lost 90s sensibilities and how he's bringing 90s attitude back with him. And I just find it really sad that he doesn't realise that we haven't lost 90s sensibilities. We grew up and realised that the sensibilities we had in the 90s were shit.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. And the bits that were good, we've kept. And the bits that were shit, we've shed. Or I'd like to think we've shed them.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am fascinated by this. I love 90s revival stuff, as in, we're going to do it in the style of the 90s, because we've spoke about things on air, off air. We remember rave television and Sunday morning television, where it was edgy, where it was silly. I have very fond memories of that. If I went back and watched it now, it'd be awful. For example, because of this, I went back and watched some old episodes of Games Master, and it's shite.
Yeah, we used the off-air, like you just said. We were talking about the Fast Show. The Fast Show had to work in its own time period. If you tried to do the Fast Show now, it'd be garbage. It just wouldn't make sense. Some things are of their time, and the old bikini babes and the voyeurism and the all, like, the fanboyism as well. Like, yeah, I would have fucking Sega lad, so yeah, fuck Nintendo or whatever it was. And it's just like, mate, it's not like that anymore. If we don't have that tribalistic stuff anymore, well, at least not in grown-up gaming.
No.
So, yeah, get your fucking act together.
And that's the thing as well. He's 52 and he's acting like a 16-year-old edgelord.
That's it.
Now, if he would have just come out and gone, hey guys, I'm back. Do you remember that thing that happened on Games Master? That was silly, wasn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit it because I think it'd be a funny video. Also, I've got this box of tricks that I'm going to go through. So why don't you come on a journey with me? I would have gone, wow, that's cool. This should be interesting because it's an old guy who's been out of gaming for 20 years coming back in and like looking at retro games and sort of bringing a bit of the 90s back, but the right bits of the 90s back.
I tell you what it reminds me of. Have you ever been to a gig where there's been some old guys playing and they still think they're going to make it? And it's like, you're not going to make it. You had your chance. You're all in your late 40s, 50s now. The band's never going to take off.
Or you mean like a band who had one hit and then disappeared for 20 years?
Yeah. And it's just like, we can still make it. We can come back. And it's like, go forwards. Don't go backwards. Like, look backwards and go, hey, do you remember this? And pick the best bits. Cherry pick the moments that are good. But everything else, just leave behind, because I'm telling you now, Mr. Dave Perry, the new wave will pick your bones clean. They will absolutely fucking dominate you. And you will be a laughing stock if you carry on.
And with that said, I just want to say, I wish him no ill will. I wish him the best of luck with his comeback. I just want him to tone down the shite.
I will say one thing that I do really like.
What's that?
His little logo, the anarchy with the GA, that is fucking cool. That's a nice bit of graphic design. Whoever come up with that is good at graphic design. Or they got lucky.
Even I think that's just edgelord to the max. But anyway, what's next?
Okay, so this story's been taken from Eurogamer. Nintendo's come forwards and said it will alter a racially insensitive graphic present in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The offending character is Mr. Game & Watch, who can sport a Native American skin that represents the race in a less than positive light. The promise comes after an outcry surrounding the outdated design based on a 1982 game where you play as a cowboy defending a fort against torch-wielding Native Americans. It was spotted in the Smash Bros. Ultimate Nintendo Direct that was held to promote the game ahead of its December release. It's not the first time Nintendo have edited this ugly stereotype from its games. They did it with the Game & Watch Gallery 4 that reduxed the original Game & Watch games for the Game Boy. Nintendo went on record regarding the portrayal of Native Americans. Nintendo has been planning to distribute an update for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that removes the feather from the silhouette of Mr. Game & Watch. The original game on which this depiction of the character is based was released more than 3 decades ago and does not represent our company values today. We sincerely apologise that this change was not noticed in our marketing material, and we are continuing our work to make Super Smash Bros. Ultimate an experience that is both welcoming and fun for everyone. So, go on, shoot.
Well done, Nintendo.
I think it's kind of crazy that they've done this already. They've removed it from the Game & Watch games, and it just must have slipped through.
Yeah, that's it. It slipped through. And the fact that they've acknowledged it, the fact that they're doing something about it. And it's funny because going from the first story, where things that were acceptable at the time and aren't acceptable now, someone's trying to force it back. Nintendo have gone, that's not on, we'll fix it.
Yeah, they've put their hands up and gone, yeah, this is fucked, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We didn't notice it.
Honestly, I don't think there's anything else to say on that. Just well done, Nintendo. Something got through the cracks and they're fixing it, and this is really good news.
Yeah, I think it's good news as well. They caught it. People noticed it, and it got flagged, and yeah, it's done. Okay, what's next?
Okay, so last Friday was BlizzCon 2018's opening ceremony, and it didn't really go as planned, did it?
Nope.
Now, it started off fine, opening with the announcement that Destiny 2 is free until November the 18th for Battle.net users. They then went on to say that Blizzard Entertainment co-founder Mike Morhaime stepping down as company president. There was a StarCraft 2 update, a new Heroes of the Storm hero named Orphea was announced. There was news for World of Warcraft, Battle for Azeroth and World of Warcraft Classic. A new Overwatch short was shown and a new hero Ashe was revealed. And then they announced that Warcraft 3 was getting a remaster, which was a surprise to everyone.
Yeah. Lovely. Lovely news.
That's a pretty good opener, isn't it? And then they announced Diablo Immortal, and the shit hit the fan.
I think that's understating it.
Yeah. So first of all, the reveal was just embarrassing. Principal game designer Wyatt Chang took to the stage and started hyping people up about Diablo, and then started talking about mobile phones, and the crowd turned on him instantly. Were you watching Twitch at this point, or have you seen the Twitch reaction?
No.
It was embarrassing. As soon as he said mobiles, the comments just filled with no, 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 no. It was really bad. He tried to bring them back by showing a trailer for the game, and he tried to keep them excited, explaining how Diablo Immortal will be set between Diablo 2 and 3 and will explore 20 years of untold stories, and that it's being developed in partnership with China's NetEase, who they've had a partnership with for about 10 years, I think they said.
Yeah, I think NetEase do Overwatch, don't they, in China?
Things got worse during the Q&A session when one guy asked if the announcement was an out-of-season April Fool's joke, which, to be honest, I thought was a little bit shitty. And thanks to other not-so-salty questions, we also learned that Diablo Immortal will not be coming to PC, and there will be no hardcore mode. Which, if you think about it, makes sense, because mobile connections drop, and if you're playing on hardcore and it drops, your character's fucked. So I actually support that idea. The backlash for the announcement could be seen all over social media, with fans panning both the game and Blizzard itself, and BlizzCon attendees complaining about Diablo Immortal being used as the big finish after they'd paid hundreds of dollars to be there. The community has also started fires elsewhere, with many accusing the game of being a reskin of NetEase's title Endless of God. Not Crusaders of Light, as a lot of news sites in Reddit have been reporting. And to be honest, if you think Crusaders of Light looks anything like Diablo Immortal, you're mad. It looks just like World of Warcraft. So what do you think to this?
I think there's been a bit of an overreaction. Well, I think from a fan side, I can understand the people that have paid and gone there. You're stood in a room full of people that have spent thousands upon thousands on their PCs, and they're primarily PC gamers. They don't give a fuck about a mobile game. They really don't. It could be the best mobile game in the world. They're not going to play it. I know people will bring Hearthstone up, but that were a PC game before it became a mobile game. I think that Blizzard are a bit foolish with this. They should know that their audience is primarily PC focused, and that's where they should be focusing. I think that this should have been a China only thing. See, this is the thing. Like, people have argued backwards and forwards. Is it for the Western audience? Is it for the Chinese audience? Is it for both? Because it doesn't really make any sense. To me especially, it doesn't make any sense that they do this with one of their beloved franchises. It just seems so detached. And it's like, who's making decisions at Blizzard? Is it the suits that are like, okay, mobile games are making bank, that's where we're going to focus the next Diablo, because we're going to have the least overheads, we're going to make the most money. I think it's a shit show. Like, I think it's really shitty that people have fucking hounded people at Blizzard for this decision. You see people that have just lost their fucking shit. There's I've seen hundreds of memes for this fucking thing. I'm fed up of seeing them. But I do think that Blizzard have stepped in it here. They could have done anything else. They could have just not shown it. They could have ended the show with Warcraft 3, and that'd have been it. People would have been hyped. But this is a really, really shitty cherry on the cupcake for most.
No, I agree with some of your statements. I agree that it has been blown way out of proportion, and that people are being really immature and salty.
They have.
It's embarrassing to watch, to be honest. But I also agree with you that where they placed it, they fucked it. Now, I don't think that they shouldn't have shown it. I think that the mistakes they made were putting it after Warcraft 3, because that's an announcement. And the fact that Cheng was hyping Diablo so much.
Yeah, you've got to escalate. It's got to go up and up and up. And by announcing a mobile game as the last thing, a predominantly PC showcase is just, it's a bad idea.
They should have announced it in the same way that Bethesda announced their Elder Scrolls.
The mobile version of their game.
Mobile Elder Scrolls. That was a good way of doing it. Now, Blizzard did try and do some damage control before the event. They released a video saying, we have multiple Diablo projects in the works. Some aren't ready to see, but we might have something at BlizzCon. They didn't come out and say, oh, Diablo 4 is going to be at BlizzCon. And again, in Blizzard's defense, the people who would have seen that video are the people who would have been at BlizzCon. So they tried to temper expectations. Now, I massively disagree with you about this shouldn't make it and it's unnecessary and la la la. Like, you keep referencing it as the next Diablo. It's not the next Diablo, it's a spin-off. And a lot of people keep saying, oh, but the next Diablo is on mobile. No, it's not, it's a spin-off. And I think people need to sort of check themselves when it comes to that. Because if you don't play mobile games, you're not going to pick this up.
Yeah.
If you're not going to play it, don't play it. I think having it as China only is kind of dumb, to be honest, because Diablo's a well-known franchise. And the way I'm looking at it is in the same way that Pokemon Go, which wasn't the next Pokemon game. It's just bringing people in who were playing on mobile devices, who then might go, oh, because let's face it, it's going to be stripped down, isn't it? But this is a cool stripped down version of an experience that people are having on PC and console, because Diablo 3 is on Switch now as well. If people pick this up, especially if it's free to play with microtransactions, people pick it up and go, oh, well, this is kind of cool, but not as good as I want. Oh shit, the better version's on the Switch? That's going to bring in new people. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, we're going to say, I'm not against it existing, because, I mean, it's, like you say, it is the next one, but it's not the next main line. It's just the one that's coming out next, as it were. It's just not the next mainline game, like you said, there's spin-offs and stuff. For the game quality itself, you mentioned that it's going to be stripped down. From what I've read, it's better than you expect, but it is pared down.
Yeah, but it's bound to be.
Yeah, I don't know whether they're doing what you're suggesting and hoping to get a fish hook into the people that play on mobiles and get them to play either on PC or PlayStation or even Switch. I think it depends on the quality of this game, depends on how heavily monetized it is.
Yeah.
Or, like, it really boils down to that. If it's a 20 quid game on a mobile phone and people are okay with that, and there's no monetization in it at all after that, then it's probably going to be one of the best mobile phone games ever, because Diablo's fucking amazing.
To be honest, even if it's free to play, but it has a similar microtransaction system to something like Warframe, that's acceptable.
What, so you like pay for like character slots and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways that they could make it work. But if it follows the traditional route of monetization on mobile phones, then I think we're going to have another Dungeon Keeper kick-off.
Yeah.
Again.
Like, that's something I'm worried about. Like, if you have to spend points to go into a dungeon, and you've been in 2 dungeons today, that's all your points gone. You've got to wait 24 hours, or you can buy some more points to go into the dungeon.
Yeah, like your adventurer gets tired or whatever after doing so many steps.
That'd suck.
Yeah, it would. In regards to the games that it looks like, it's like, well, you could fucking line it up and say, well, these games look like Torchlight. They use the same user interface because they're the same genres. Like, you can't line them up and go, hey, look, these are exactly the same, because it's like saying, it's like putting fucking Armour next to Call of Duty and going, well, they're the same. It's like, well, they're not. They're very different on the way that they play. Core mechanics of how they work, although you are clicking and looting and stuff, and they are the same genre, there's differences there that make them appeal to different audiences. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. Games can look similar, and they can sort of, like, in Venn diagrams, you can have one foot in one circle and another foot in another and still be different, if that makes sense. Like, the art style makes a huge difference, the music makes a difference, the way that certain mechanics work make a huge difference. So I won't put too much into that. I think people are clutching at straws there, myself.
And the way I'm looking at it as well is, if it is essentially a reskin of Endless of God, who gives a shit? Endless of God is a Diablo clone, because they couldn't make Diablo for mobile. So they made Diablo for mobile and called it a different thing. Now they're working with Blizzard and have Blizzard devs and art assets and stuff helping them. That's fine. You know, you've got a game that's got a good fan base and gets good reviews and is played by a hell of a lot of people in China. If you're bringing that framework and taking it worldwide, it's going to be good.
I think it could be fine. I think it, like, people, like you said, they're blowing it out of proportion. It could potentially go worse when it does come out.
Yeah. With
the kickbacks, with the micropayments, if it's terrible. But aside from that, I don't, it's going to make them fucking tons of money. And the people that are playing Diablo 4 in 3, 4, 5 years' time aren't going to give a fuck about this. They're just going to move on, hopefully.
To be fair, everyone who's angry about it now who isn't going to play this is going to forget about it when it's out regardless.
And, well, they're just going to get angry at the next thing that fucking happens, because that's the sort of people that they are.
And then they'll put on their red shirts and then they'll go and get salty at devs at fucking conventions again. That's where we're going to leave it for this week's news recap. So if you'd like to talk to us about any of the stories that we mentioned, then please feel free to leave a comment below or talk to us over at Twitter at StrangePlay UK. You can also join our Discord server, invite link in the description. Also, if you like this video or like what we do on the channel, feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. It helps us grow and we really do appreciate it. But until next week, thank you very much for watching and we will see you then.
Bikini girls, up and down.
You twat.
Ha 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 ha.